customer service and its place in security, and more importantly, customer service and the role that it plays in supporting businesses, and how security can use customer service to better support the business. So when I was writing my master's dissertation back in, I wrote my master's dissertation called The Customer Service Keystone. And we looked at the role that good customer service can play in security, and then we looked at the role that bad customer service can play in security. So let me get my switchy thing. Good, so because we only have 15 minutes, I'm going to need you to accept these basic assumptions in life. So we're going to make 5 basic assumptions, and then we're going to talk about them for a sec. So first of all, security matters. Second of all, interactions matter. Third, perceptions matter. 4, money matters. And then 5, generally speaking, we should probably give the people what they want. So looking forward, this is not the 70s anymore. Nobody wants the same level of security or the same type of security that we had back in the 1970s. There is no more of that Ray-Ban security officer who comes looking out, strolling out, and talks to you with like pointing hand. Nobody likes that anymore. So back what we used to see was that security was the wall. Security was the wall that protected organizations from the evil people who wanted to do bad things. And sadly, that mentality still exists in a lot of places. What we're seeing much more today, though, is security becoming a facilitator of business. Security becoming the front face of business. We are the first people who greet guests, visitors, potential investors who come into your organization. We are there to direct people. We're there to offer advice. We're offered to help. So all of these things now make us kind of a hub of connection, where you can leverage your security guard to connect your organization and connect your organization with the outside world. So number 2, interactions matter. This is what I call the don't be a jerk rule. I actually have a more colorful way of phrasing that, but I got told to tone it down. So generally speaking, don't be a jerk. So part of my research that I did for my dissertation is I interviewed people and I did a survey. And I surveyed people about their interactions with security and about what they expected from security officers. So 60% of the people that I surveyed reported having a negative interaction with security. That's as an industry in a whole. And I think that's really demonstrating a failure on our part to prioritize customer service, to prioritize the experience that people have with our security officers. And then I asked them 2 questions. And the questions were, if a security guard gives you a direction that is both legal and reasonable, how likely are you to want to comply? And in the first scenario, the security guard is rude, perhaps a little condescending, perhaps gave you one of these, ma'am, sir, you're going to need to do this. And in that instances, you can see that there very likely is only 3%. People don't want to comply with any level of direction if you're being rude to them. So if you gave the exact same scenario where a security officer approaches you and makes a request that is both legal and reasonable, but he does so in a polite, friendly, and professional manner, how likely are you to want to comply with his request? And suddenly 83% of people were very likely. This is not rocket science. This is don't be a jerk. This is be nice to people, and they are far more likely to want to comply. So what does this mean for businesses? Why do businesses care about these things? Well, hold on, we'll talk about that in a sec. Perceptions matter, and social media sucks if you're a jerk. So I challenge everyone, when they get home, when they get outside, pull out your phones and go to YouTube and type in security guard. And notice the first things that come up on page 1. They are usually not flattering. They are usually images probably like this, of a security guard gone rogue. This is in a Sainsbury in the UK, where this is a clip you can actually go and watch if you feel so inclined. Where the school kid comes in, the security guard suspects him shoplifting. This is a very localized incident, but Sainsbury is a multi-million-dollar grocery store. And if we look over here, this is the report that then popped up in the news. And then here's an overview of social media use. So you can see that as of January 2022, there's billions of people on social media. So this has now become a very free commercial for Sainsbury. And sadly, probably not an effective one. So I pulled a couple of very interesting statistics that are going to lead into our next slide. 50% of people are 50% more likely to leave a negative review for a company than they are for a positive review. So for every positive review or negative review you get, you probably have people who have had equal amounts of positive experiences, but the negative people are half more likely to actually go online and post that. And money matters. John Lennon said, all we need is love, but sadly that doesn't pay the bills, and it doesn't pay the payroll, and it doesn't pay the rent. So money matters, and money matters to C-suites. And anyone remember this? Back in 2016, 2017, there was a United Airline flight that overbooked their flight. Everyone remember this? And poor Dr. Cho was asked to leave, and he said, I'm a doctor, I have patients, I can't get off the plane. And then airport security, not police, airport security went on and removed him from the flight, breaking his nose and a cheekbone in the process. And this was filmed by multiple people on the airline, posted online, and it had, where did I put there, 6.8 million views within 24 hours of the incident. If you tally up what it cost them about $1 billion loss in market value. And that's not including the lawsuit that he waged against United Airlines. And it also doesn't include the lawsuit that the security guard waged against the airline, because he stated he was not properly trained to fulfill this activity. He was not properly supported by the organization to enact this level of activity. And obviously, he suffered a lot of damages, both private and professional, from being placed in this position. So the second stat I want to hit you with, based on Business Harvard study, was that if everyone here know Yelp, right? Yelp, it's a fantastic place. We all go there if you want to go to a restaurant. A 1-star improvement equaled a 5 to 9% increase in revenue for that organization. If you scale that from your local pizza shop to a $1 billion organization, a 5 to 9% increase in revenue matters a lot. The second statistic I'm going to hit you with is that 86% of customers become hesitant to purchase from a supplier that has a negative online review. If we go somewhere and we want to buy tires, and all of a sudden we read that these tires are horrible and that they fell apart the next day, we are probably going to buy different tires. If we go online and we see this review, how likely are we to want to go shop at Tesco's? We will probably go to the Morrisons down the street. Give people what they want. If people don't want to be treated poorly, here's an idea: don't treat them poorly. So, we did another question where we asked people about, you lost your wallet. You have to go see security. How important is your interaction with security versus how important it is to get your wallet back? 64% of people, more than half of the people we surveyed, said it is equally important that I am treated respectfully and professionally as it is that I get my wallet back. And I think that tells you that people, members of the public, demand this of us. This is the expectation that the public has of security and of our organizations. And I think if you looked, remember the first statistic where 60% of people had had a negative interaction with security? And then you read this, I think it demonstrates a significant failing. One of the questions I asked people, and I didn't put it in my slide because I was worried about going over time, was I asked people to rank training programs. I gave them a list of 10 different options, and I said, security procedure, first aid, emergency protocols, patrolling, And I gave them a list of the general topic security study, and I included customer service. And I asked people to rank them in order of importance. The number one thing was emergency procedures, and fair enough, death sucks. We should definitely not go for death. The number two answer was customer service. So people prioritized customer service above all the other training programs that they wanted security officers to receive. So I want to leave you with that and this. I know that we don't have a ton of questions for answers, but I am here for the rest of the day. I love questions. Clearly, I love to talk. Please feel free to approach me with any questions, and if not, I think I put my contact details on the first slide, and you can feel free to reach out to me. I do also have more of my research available if anyone has an interest in reading long and boring things. Thank you very much.